The next generation of consoles are almost here, but it's safe to say that the Wii U is the first in the lineup of next-gen consoles. It's not doing too well actually, with very little in the way of third-party support, but it's still a strong console. Today I take a look at two of my favorite Wii U titles so far, that and some PS Vita games, and a whole lot more. You've just entered the lab. Our first review for today is New Super Mario Bros. U for the Wii U. I have a list of games. One could call it my Hall of Shame. There are just some games out there that I either never really played or completed. On that list will be games like Zelda, Assassin's Creed, and Mario Bros. Now, I've played all these games, but I've never quite understood the craze. That's right, I never really played a Zelda or a Mario game that really hooked me. But thanks to the Wii U, that's a thing of the past. Now, Super Mario Bros. U has opened my eyes to a whole new experience. This might as well have been the very first Mario game ever created. Now, I'm not saying other Mario titles were no good. I enjoyed Sunshine, Galaxy, and so on, but I always lost interest after a few sittings. Let's get into it. The story is pretty much the same as it has always been. Bowser wants a princess, and this time he's thrown you and your friends all the way across the country, and you need to find your way back and get this annoyingly helpless princess. You know, on a side note, I've seen this princess duke it out in titles like Brawl, so she can clearly defend herself, so it leads me to ask the question, why does she choose to be Bowser's kidnapped victim every time? Crazy. I like the graphics in this game, although they're like most of the graphics I've seen on the Wii U so far, too little too late kind of thing. The graphics in Super Mario Bros. U looks like what the original Wii should have looked like, but they're still nice and help immerse you in Mario's little fantasy world. Although you're able to do most things effortlessly, Mario's slide motions are a bit annoying and sometimes lead to unexpected falls. I like the inclusion of the Super Guide. It's kinda like training wheels, but if you don't have the patience to keep trying till you get it right, then this might be right up your alley. You're able to watch Luigi go through the stage after a few failed attempts on your part. I also appreciate the overall difficulty level of the game. Not too easy, not too hard, but most important, not impossible. Every stage, every boss battle can be overcome with the right strategy, and it feels real good most times when you beat a tricky level. Feels like it was worth the trouble. This speaks to the overall level design for each world. In true Nintendo fashion, each stage is expertly crafted in a way that will always maintain the balance of fun and challenge. The more seasoned platform game players will appreciate this more. You can tell by some of the comments on Miiverse that some of the younger players are getting their butts handed to them on some of these levels. The inclusion of Miiverse also adds to pretty much any Wii U game you play. To have a community for whatever it is you're playing does add a pretty cool element to the game. Reminds me of this gamer social site called Raptor. It's pretty much like the Facebook for gamers, and this is very similar to Miiverse. As you play through these stages in Super Mario Bros. U, you can post your thoughts and comments on a particular level or boss. The option to play with either the Wii Pad, the original Wii controllers, or the Pro controller is also a good addition. This way you'll never be able to blame the controller as you have several options. You can also play the entire game on the Wii Pad with the TV turned off. The various game modes and multiplayer options add that element of replayability that's appreciated by many. I haven't spent too much time here, but from what I've experienced, it's another plus. The checkpoints are a bit questionable. I kinda wish they were more conveniently placed. But at least you can use the quick save option. I'd much prefer though to have a solid saved checkpoint after each level, and not at the end of a world or boss fight. All in all, I'm impressed with New Super Mario Bros. U, and recommend it to any gamer, even if this isn't your genre of choice. Look at me. One of the more common gamer mail that I receive for this show is, why don't I review other genres other than shooters? Well, that's because I mainly play shooters, but New Super Mario Bros. U makes me want to try more of these platformers. The lab gives New Super Mario Bros. U a 9 out of 10. After the break, we'll review ZombiU, plus a PS Vita title in the lobby. We also take a look at Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts. Now here's our review for ZombiU. Now when you talk about something new and different, this game has to top the list. I agree, at first it might look like just another first-person shooter, but trust me, ZombiU is a whole new experience. The story here, if you're accustomed to the whole zombie apocalypse thing, is the usual.
The alchemy of wealth from air will bring a second blight upon mankind.
There has been an outbreak, and now the infected are roaming the earth, infecting others by biting them, so on and so on. Like I said, if you're into the whole 28 days later Dawn of the Dead thing, then you know what I'm talking about.
Thus will the end come.
So what I'm saying is, the story isn't anything new or great, and quite frankly I have to say it was played out in ZombiU in a very vague kind of way. You start off as a lone survivor who hears this voice that leads you to a subway station, which you soon learn is a safe house monitored by this doomsday preacher, the Prepper. As the game progresses, you take instructions from him while meeting a few other people who present you with other options, so to speak. Like I said, vague, but in my opinion realistic, as I would expect no different under these circumstances. I also like the fact that all of this happened in London, because even though I've played a lot of games that took place in locations other than the US, it really seems like everything happens to the US, or at least most things. If there's an alien invasion, a haunting, an outbreak, a terrorist attack, it always seems to be in America. So yeah, I appreciate the change of scenery.
You're clean, aren't you?
The voice acting is good, and same goes for the rest of the audio. I love the creepy scores, particularly the ones you hear at the loading screens as you shortcut through the sewers. The Wii pad is put to a lot of use here. You'll find that you really shouldn't leave home without it. It's called the Prepper Pad in game, and you'll see it living up to its name as you use it for doing very important and key things, from scanning locks, hacking cameras, controlling mounted weapons, and so on.
Okay, you're free to come and go now.
It also provides you with a smart map, and as you upgrade throughout the game, the smart map becomes even smarter.
Now might be a good time to try out your radar.
The Prepper Pad plus this game's other attempts at realism truly redefines or at least brings some amount of new meaning to this term, survival horror. ZombiU brings us back to the days of games like the original Resident Evil and Silent Hill, where conservation and proper strategy is key and determines the difference between success and failure. But ZombiU takes it even a step further with the introduction of permadeath. Permadeath, as the name suggests, is permanent death. This can come to you in two ways. First, for the hardest of the hardcore, we have survival mode, a mode where you play as one person from start to finish. But if this sole survivor dies just once, the game ends. That's right, this is worse than even old school where we only had like 3 lives and lights out. Here, if you die just once, that's it, credits roll with no continues. Then you can play the normal mode, but permadeath still applies. Each time you die, you wake up back at the safe house and have to go looking for the person who you were playing with before to retrieve your backpack with all the good stuff you collected. This really ramps up the difficulty level and will turn off many from ZombiU, but for those of you interested in a challenge and a new experience, I advise you to give it a shot. As the game progresses though, you will find upgrades for not just your Prepper Pad, which you're able to craft better guns and a few other things that help balance the difficulty. Things like the absence of any kind of boss battle and no real puzzle solving also helps with this balance. Sometimes you have to use your Prepper Pad to figure out some basic things, but no old school Resident Evil Tomb Raider style puzzles here. I also like the overall duration of the game, not too long, not too short, so you never get bored or feel shortchanged. The graphics in ZombiU is much like those in New Super Mario Bros. U. By this I mean, they do look dated. So far, no Wii U game has blown me away in this department, and I don't expect that to happen anytime soon, since Nintendo is always a generation behind anyway. Well, since the Wii at least. ZombiU uses realism as one of its main selling points, but other than the fact that no game is really realistic, things like the cricket bat really gets to me. The cricket bat is your only melee weapon. Now my first concern is why. In this post-apocalyptic world where things are no longer for sale and you can loot just about anywhere, as all the shop owners are dead, why do you cling to this clumsy bat? Try finding a machete, or sword, or some such delight. But a cricket bat? And that brings me to the next problem with ZombiU, the characters you play as. Now gamers, help me with this. Feel free to shoot me an email with your take. Why is it that in this zombie apocalypse only the weak and awkward manage to survive? Seriously, all the characters, no matter how many you go through, have the same physical disabilities. They're all weak and timid. You can tell by their panting, inability to run fast, to handle a bat better, or run and reload or shoot, even when you take control of a policeman. Now are you telling me that when the outbreak hit, and you had to be fighting and running for your life, only the weak ones made it? That's not logical. I'd expect the opposite. I'd think that the fit persons, the well-trained persons, the strong and athletic persons would have stood a better chance, but no, not here in ZombiU. As you progress through the streets and tunnels and buildings of zombie-ravaged London, you'll also notice player messages. People who have been through the game can use a can of spray paint and tag messages for you. Most have a thumbs down saying don't trust, but I posted none myself and paid very little attention to any of the ones I saw. Unnecessary addition in my opinion. A few more handicaps. You can't walk while using the prepper pad. Why? Then you'll sometimes meet up on really long load times when you're trying to open certain doors. Trust me, this is one of the scariest games I've ever played, and waiting in the dark for a door to load is quite unnerving. The ending of the game was lackluster at best, and while you have more than one way to beat this game, the ending still leaves a lot to be desired.
Welcome, ladies and gents, to the ultimate showdown!
Now the silliest part of ZombiU, many have given it praises, but for the life of me I can't figure out why. The multiplayer. First thing, you cannot play ZombiU's multiplayer online. Now seriously guys, this is the 21st century, come on. Now how many people have a group of ZombiU loyalists that will come over to play with them? What we're offered here is a capture the flag type scenario where one person plays with the Wii pad as the king of zombies who unleashes the undead on the other player who plays with the Wiimote and nunchuck.
Let's play Survivors vs. Zombies!
Now we need more options, and why is it not online? And while I'm not saying you have to have the standard team deathmatch and whatnot, devs could have added more multiplayer options, even a co-op horde mode. Not happy with ZombiU's multiplayer at all. This also damages ZombiU's replayability factor. That and a few more things I mentioned leads me to believe this game was rushed. Don't care how long people say it was in development, it still should have spent a bit more time there.
It's the dudes against the dead, and by crikey, it's gonna get messy!
Now with all that said, I give ZombiU credit for its innovation and cool additions. Devs got a lot right, and a bit wrong. And since I've read where there are no plans for a sequel, I guess we won't be seeing an improved version anytime soon. The lab gives ZombiU a 7 out of 10.
Not my finest hour, I fear.
Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4 are almost here. Let's take a look at what's to come. First up, Battlefield 4. This game is scheduled for an October 29th release, and so far it's looking real good. I've been racking up some time in Battlefield 3 as I recently upgraded to Premium, so I should be sharply tuned for Battlefield 4's release. Then right on the heels of Battlefield 4 is the release of Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, I've seen the press conferences and whatnot. So far, this is looking like another good Call of Duty game. Not great, as Call of Duty games never are anymore, no matter what the fanboys who line up every year to buy them say. Call of Duty has not been groundbreaking or even breathtaking since Modern Warfare 2, but I still enjoy the franchise and I wish it the best every year. I see where they have taken my advice and added somewhat of a cover or lean out system. These guys just need to learn the benefits of running and reloading and shooting at the same time and we're good. I have no intention to run out and buy either of these games on the current gen consoles. I'd prefer to wait till my Xbox One or PS4 arrives, but we'll see. I considered getting it on the Wii U since that's kind of a next gen console, but then I imagine how lonely the lobbies might be, filled with noobs. Like I said, we'll see though. Today we talk to a local game developer, the people behind the Dunspat app.
Greetings! Hey, there's a new app out called Dunspat. It's simple, addictive, fun. Do you think you have what it takes? Come test it now.
Hello, my name is Damian Daly. I'm manager at Software Architects Limited. We recently developed a game for mobile devices called Dunspat. Dunspat is currently available on Android and BlackBerry 10 devices. It's basically a word game that you fill in the blanks to give you a clue and you fill in the blanks to guess the word. And what we have done to make it have a unique Jamaican feel is to basically incorporate the colors and a Rastaman that distinctly says Jamaica. So people playing the game will have a feel like they're in the Caribbean, in Jamaica specifically, with that feel and that nice, easygoing, relaxed kind of vibe to the game. Our motivation behind creating Dunspat was the fact that we want, at Software Architects, we currently do a lot of projects with big corporations, but we wanted to extend our range and also do innovative, different things than the norm that is done by software companies in Jamaica. So we decided we wanted to go into mobile application development, but not just for our clients, but also some unique stuff that could help to promote and show the talent that Jamaican developers have. Besides Dunspat, we have developed an application for BlackBerry devices for Jamaica Observer. That was us. And we have also done a Champs app. We have also worked on several other applications for overseas companies, notably of which is an app called Batanga, which is a music app. And we have done other projects in-house. We currently have a project out called Click that allows you to buy credit from the phone, which a lot of people are currently utilizing. So yeah, we have a body of work out there that really speaks to what we are able to do, based on diversification as well as the range of different levels of mobile and web application development. Be sure to download Dunspat. We have a free version and a paid version available on Android devices at the Play Store and on BlackBerry 10 at the BlackBerry App Store. Play Jamaica, support Jamaica, build Jamaica, and be sure to share it with your friends so that they can enjoy the fun too.
The PS Vita is another console with limited third-party support. Not as bad as the Wii U, but still not enough games on it. Today my pick is this free-to-play gem, Jetpack Joyride. Truly addictive game. Jetpack Joyride is a free-to-play indie game on the PS Vita. I've also seen it on the iPad. It's a very basic game where all you do is fly around on various jetpacks and collect the coins while dodging just about everything else. But just as Tetris and even more recent titles like Angry Birds are genius in their simplicity, so is Jetpack Joyride. You're able to upgrade your jetpack, use various vehicles, and even post your high scores to Twitter. Real addictive, fun, and I recommend this to any PS Vita owner looking for a casual experience. It's great for killing time. Next episode, I'll look at some other cool free-to-play titles, like another one of my favorites, Plants vs. Zombies 2 on iOS. Thanks for playing.
Today in the lobby we take a look at Resistance Burning Skies for the PS Vita. Resistance Burning Skies. Now I've gotten many requests over the years for some portable games. The thing is, I was never too big on portable gaming, but since I got my Vita, I'm singing a new tune. Resistance Burning Skies so far is the best portable gaming experience I've had. The single player campaign was great as short as it is, but then I bought the online pass and entered the multiplayer lobby and realized this is one pretty cool game. Now while the options aren't heavy, you have your team deathmatch free-for-all and a mode called Survival, where you fight as humans versus the Chimera, and killed humans are converted to the Chimera team. I've been told that this game pales in comparison to what we'll have in Killzone Mercenaries. I'll share that as soon as it lands in the lab. Until then, thanks for playing. On the next episode of the lab, we'll take a look at Splinter Cell for the Wii U. We'll also in the lobby take a look at Tekken Tag 2, the Wii U edition. Then we'll look at some iOS games, something we haven't done before. Games like Overkill 2 and Sonic Dash. You're not going to want to miss this. Now, thanks to all our gamers for watching, hardcore and casual. Thanks to the channel surfers who just stumble onto us while flipping through some channels, you know? I want to say a special thanks to 530 Social Lounge. I want to say a special thanks to Straight Games in the Sovereign Center. Now, until next time, you can find us online, back episodes, fabricatedprojects.com. You can email us at thelabvideogametv@yahoo.com. Add us up on Facebook, add us up on Twitter. We're also on PSN, The Lab Game TV. Same thing on Xbox Live. You can find us on Steam. You can find us on the Nintendo Network. Everywhere there's a game going on, you can find The Lab Game TV. That's what we're here for. Until next time, keep gaming, and our game is never over.